Hello, courageous souls. This is Steve, giving you a summary of the dire situation that we left you off many months ago in the Sicorian conundrum. So I'm just going to give you some points to remind you where you were, and then we'll pick it up tomorrow night. Rest assured, I have some evil plans. I always like to have evil plans. I do. So you're in a land that has a lot of diversity, giants and gnomes, and in this land you lived in, I should bring up the map. It has one primary volcano where these magicians called the Elevated live, and then everyone has a little barrio of different types, along with the neutral area. However, the Elven area was just burned out and destroyed like hundreds of years ago, and you guys signed up to like a quick in and out, like someone's going to pay you money to go in there, get this device, and come out. And what happened was you went in there, and the person who knew where the device was and how to get it promptly was Chicken McNugget for a very large red dragon. And since then, you've realized that it's not too easy to get out of this place. And there's a lot of forces going on there. Are smaller, weird orange-yellow dragons that are on the perimeter. In fact, those are kind of guardian dragons that are throughout the whole city that the Elevated employ. So it's hard to get past them. So you're debating, like, do we just get the hell out of here? Or do we, also look for a treasure? Because apparently the elves, even though they got slaughtered, apparently at some time they left a bunch of treasure behind. So you're debating about, do I try to do both and risk getting neither, or do I just try to get out or go for the treasure and die an epic death? Those are the things on the plate. Yeah, so in addition to the orange and yellow dragons, there's a bunch of these huge red dragons, like imagine like the toe of one of these red dragons being able to pin you down, like a human would fit under one toe of these dragons. They're huge. You do notice that they have like two different states. Like sometimes they look very fierce and kind of normal, and other times they have kind of a glassed look over their eyes. You're not sure why. Most of the time they have a glass look over their eye and they're trying to kill you, which you prevent by putting this blue potion that you were given. Yeah, so you can walk on top of this land to the corner. You pretty much know where the escape is. And so you could try to walk on top, but then you'd be fighting these monster dragons. Or you go down below, and there's multiple levels, one of which has all these huge worms, one of which Bernie's character was digesting in for a while. And other levels you haven't even below that. So you could try to travel underground. There's also some kind of official militia from the Elevated who noticed that you were in there, and they're hunting you down. And then you have these 2-star devices, and both of which are kind of like sentient objects. They both are pointing you different directions. You don't know why, and you have to make a decision if you try to follow theirs or your own guidance. But there's another guy who's been stuck in here for a very long time, most of his life, named Elion, and he's convinced that these stars, you have 2, and if you get all 3, then you can get out and get the treasure from this area. So these devices are hopefully pointing to the 3rd device, and last time you left, you were following that, and it was leading you to this big monstrous beehive. You had to kind of fight your way to it, and then through the forest, and then there's this big beehive. So do you try to disguise yourself as a bee, sneak in the back way, just charge right in there and chop through it? I'm looking forward to seeing if you guys go for that. So you need to get these 3 stars probably, and they are pretty bejeweled, so you could probably sell them if you make it out with them. The other thing I can tell you is there's transportation around this area through pools, and so you never know what's going to pop out of a pool or where it happens when you jump in a pool, and you can kind of like set a dial and where the pool goes to, and you've been in and out of those for a while. Dun, dun, dun. You have a bunch of weird rings, and one of them was gives you eyes on the back of the head when you wear it. You're not really aware of any disadvantage. Another one allows you to speak, understand animals. The disadvantage being that you can't speak in human language. You can only speak in animal languages when you're wearing it. And another one gives you kind of like stone-like skin, so obviously tougher, but you look very inhuman when you wear it. And then another one, for whatever reason, allows you to change color. And if you make a basic intelligence roll, likely you can control it. Well, that one you take off and it lingers. Both the stone and the color and the eye linger. So you take off the stone, off the ring, if it lets you take it off, and then whatever that is kind of lingers for a while. You also have a well-carved dagger, very ornately carved dagger. Doesn't seem to have any jewels in it, but it obviously someone put a lot of energy into it. And you were given a pretty hefty amount of gold, like 20 gold pieces per person, and you have found some gold along the way. Not enough just to justify almost dying, but you're hoping that this epic treasure at the end near the escape point is going to justify all this, because it's supposed to be a quick in and out, and it certainly hasn't been. So I think that is it. I think your decision is how to get across the rest of the space below in the levels where you have to deal with who knows what and huge worms, or do you try to go over the top and deal with the dragons and this militia that's also going around, or do you just try to go through these pools? Does the beehive have a lot of treasure from all the unfortunate souls that got near it and got sucked in? And can you get that out without getting sucked in yourself? So glory awaits. You have your characters on D&D online. Let me know if you need I will send out the URL way ahead of time. But shoot me any questions via text, and I look forward to seeing you guys at 8 to 8:15, no later at 8:15. I don't think not everyone's gonna be able to make it, unfortunately. So Steve, maybe you could play your son's character too, or give him to me and I could play him. Here's to adventure and camaraderie and mass consumption of hedonistic things. Those things. We really should just embrace our deeper, darker nature all the time. Not just in gaming, but all the time.